What is going on, everyone? It's the Print House, and today, guys, we're talking about the AnkerMake M5. Guys, I have one backed on Kickstarter. You can see I secured the early bird, 34% off. Guys, I think this printer has some really big potential. Anyway, guys, we are going to go over the Kickstarter page just to, get out all the news, figure out what's up with this printer, and just figure out, guys, is this the printer that you guys need to be backing? What is going on? Anyway, so I first saw this printer multiple days, or maybe even, I think it was even multiple weeks before the Kickstarter page actually launched. I think it was maybe 2 weeks before something. I signed up for the emails, and I was getting a bunch of marketing, and we are gonna talk about that. But first, guys, so let's just jump right into the video that they have at the very top of their campaign. We're gonna watch that. We are going to discuss it, and yeah. So let's play this. This is obviously very marketing heavy, exploring the 3D frontier. Auto leveling. Look, auto leveling's great. Auto leveling's fantastic. Direct drive. Ultra direct drive. I don't know even what does that even mean. 5 times faster printing with power boost. Aluminum frame in every single printer. Alright, on his phone, great. So I think what they're going for throughout this whole thing is that you can be doing other stuff, and basically, you're gonna go start a print before the game, and in the middle of the game, your print is gonna be done. It's just that fast. I think that's kind of what they're going for with that. Integrated AI camera. That's actually, I think that's a good thing. Makes the gantry a little bit heavy. I do like the idea though. Comes factory with a PEI magnetic plate. So one thing I think they're going for right here is that the printer is making ultra smooth prints, which is why he's actually finishing it, is my guess, is what they're going for there.
You ready, son?
Yeah! Would you look at that? That guy, the kid is so happy. How can you not buy it? The kid is so happy. At this point, you gotta buy the printer. I mean, your kid's gonna be that happy too. AnkerMake, make it real. Alright, guys, so my first thoughts when I see that is, yeah, it's cool, but pretty much everything they said there is basically what is a given. I want that in every single printer, except the 5 times faster printing. Of course, I want that, but that's not a given. So everything that they just mentioned, it better be in a printer if I'm gonna buy it. I don't care how much it costs. It better be able to print smooth lines. I don't know. It was very marketing heavy, and there was nothing to learn from there. So scrolling through the campaign, at the very top, now we have stretch goals. At the very beginning of the campaign, these did not exist. So at $3 million, we unlocked an extra PEI soft magnetic plate. Now, I think that's awesome and fantastic. I'm not sure why we're getting an extra one. It just seems like a waste of money, unless one of them that comes stock on the printer is going to be have a texture, and then one of them is going to be smooth. I don't know. I mean, you can always flip the PEI sheet over and have a smooth side and a texture. I don't know. I'm not going to complain because I think that's a fantastic thing to get anyway. I can just put it on a different printer, or I suppose I can put it in a closet, and if I scuff one up, I can just put a new one on. So we're also getting a one additional all metal hot end. I think that's fantastic to get an all metal hot end on a printer. Stock is fantastic. I'll use the one that comes stock on the printer, which is likely not an all metal hot end. And then when that one decides to die, I can go ahead and put this one on, and just don't have to worry. I think that is fantastic that we're getting one of those. It will be obviously better for printing different materials as well. So introducing, we have a 5 times faster printing. We will see if that happens. I do not believe that's going to be happening, and I will give details on that soon. Precision to the 0.1 millimeter. I think that's common. There's nothing to really be marketing there. Built-in AI camera monitoring. Now this is fantastic. Now I do not know if this is going to actually do some kind of a spaghetti detector. I didn't do that much research into what the AI camera does, but if it can cut the print off, if it notices a failure, that's fantastic. I know that it will alert you on your phone if you get a failure. So, I mean, that is good as it is, and you can pull your phone up and you can stop the print if it actually is failing. Auto created time lapses, that's fantastic. Now the camera runs Linux. Somewhere further down on this page, we'll figure that out. But the camera runs Linux, and something else I can't exactly remember what it is also running based on Linux, which is I think possibly really good. I think the potential of maybe installing Octoprint or Clipper or something onto that device, onto that processor, into the memory of the machine. However, someone might be able to figure that out, and the possibility exists of being able to run Clipper on this machine without needing a Raspberry Pi or anything else. It might just work. Of course, that's not something I'm going to be able to set up, but someone that has more smarts might be able to do that. Hub connected multiple devices. Don't really understand what that means, but maybe that's suggesting if you have multiple different AnkerMake M5s, it's all going to connect to one smartphone. I don't know. Auto leveling. Now this is fantastic. This is very, very big. I know this is not new technology, but this is very, very huge. 3 easy step assembly. That's pretty common. Aluminum alloy structure. That is also incredibly common. And then a standard size print volume. So the aluminum, I don't know. A lot of this stuff, guys, it's just very, very common. So we have some reviews. Uncle Jesse made a review, and then we have a couple more, another review and some print testing. And if we go over to YouTube, we will see some other people talking about this machine, but more marketing crap. Now, this is where I get a little bit suspicious. So we're saying print speeds of 250 millimeters per second, and we're suggesting that a Benchy takes 2 hours and 10 minutes. I know if you go all the way down to the very bottom of the Kickstarter page, we have some notes. Now these notes tell you how they made the Benchy. 0.2 millimeter layer height, infill overlap of 5%, wall line 3 walls, printing speed 2, blah blah. Okay. Guys, I did not plug this into Cura myself, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't really care if those settings equal that print time, because I will never use those settings if it's going to take 9 hours and 19 minutes to print a Benchy on a printer. There's no reason I will ever do that. So to get the print time down to 2 hours and 10 minutes just doesn't make any sense to me. And they're using 3 walls. So walls are going to be a lot easier to speed up the print time with, or to speed up the printing with. Walls can be printed very quickly, especially on a Benchy, where a lot of it is there's very long walls all the way around a Benchy. So this is why I kind of give this some crap. I don't really care. If they wanted to really have me trust their print time metrics, they wouldn't have said something absurd like a 9 hour and 20 minute Benchy. This is fantastic. Now, I mean, you can't really tell very much with this, but I mean, there's no stringing that we can tell visually. We don't know what they cleaned up. They didn't give us close-ups, but print looks good from what we can see, which I guess is very minimal. But again, print time seems a little absurd. All of these basically off after the first print. It's all the rest of this is just mumbo jumbo to me. These are just garbage. I can't trust any of it. Let's see. Driven by Power Boost. So what is Power Boost? I don't really know what Power Boost is, but anyway, all this to say, guys, if they can manage to get 250 millimeters per second, that's going to be incredible. and it's probably going to be very limited to what it can do. Limited to cubes, limited to vase mode, limited to stuff like that. But nonetheless, if we can get it to 250 millimeters per second on limited selection prints, probably can boost that thing up to 150, 175 pretty easily for a lot of other things. Precision to 0.1 millimeters. I feel like this should be standard. The print looks fantastic. Proven accuracy. This is fantastic. The difference in score. I don't really understand who scored it or how they scored it. But nonetheless, the prints do look very good. AnkerMake M5 scored 25.5 on Autodesk Kickstarter Geometry FDM. Maybe I'm stupid. I have no idea what that is. So new ultra direct drive extruder. Now, this is great. I do not have a direct drive machine. I have flexible filaments, but I have actually never ever printed with them. So this is going to be great to be able to get this machine and print with flexible filaments. I do have ideas in mind that I want to print with flexible filaments that I will try immediately. Now, ultra direct drive, this is once again more marketing mumbo jumbo. Number 5 down here, we'll go to number 5. I think they claim ultra direct drive because the distance, when we're looking down here at 5, the distance from the extruder gear to the top melting chamber is 58 centimeters. The same distance for other distal extrusion 3D printers is around 400 millimeters. I don't even know what that word is. I feel really dumb doing this now. But anyway, I don't know what standard direct drive printers normally have their distance at. But I think that came out to like just a few inches, like 2 inches or whatever. But I don't believe they have much room to make that shorter because you do need a little bit of filament touching the gears so you can do some retraction. There needs to be retraction possible. So I think that might be almost as close as you can get to the maximum distance between the extruder and the hot end or the nozzle or whatever. So 3.1 times higher multi-stage gear ratio, 1.5 times larger heating block, 1.3 times more air input volume, all the way back down 6, 7, and 8. So 6, the reduction ratio of AnkerMake is 9.37 compared to regular 3D printers with a reduction ratio between 3.0 to 3.5. AnkerMake M5 is 2.6 to 3.1 times higher. And then number 7, the volume of the heating block in AnkerMake is 6,000 millimeters cubed compared to other 3D printers with a heating block volume of 4,000 millimeters cubed. AnkerMake M5 is 1.5 times larger. The extruder of AnkerMake M5 has 2 fans inside. The output air volume is 130% larger than a single fan. Now, having 2 fans, what does that mean? Does that mean that we're going to get more air? Does that mean the printer is going to be louder? These are, all things that we're really only going to be able to know when the printers get delivered and or if we start to get more reviews being posted. So with 2 fans, if they're not Noctua fans, which I can almost guarantee you they're not, a Noctua fan costs about $20. Even when buying in bulk, if they can get them down to $10, they're not going to be using Noctua fans. So 2 of them. This printer might be loud. I don't know. Extrusion. The foundation of high-speed printing starts with the enhanced multi-stage gear system. Cool. Melting. We need to be able to melt filament if we're going to be able to be printing at speeds that high. Whoops, go back. I will not be changing my my pledge. That was an accident. Now, where was I? Here we go. I think we were right. Where were we? Oh, here we go. Cooling. The double cooling system uses a pair of fans to push out 1.3 times the air. So we're getting air from both sides, hitting the print. We're using what appears to be a very similar cooling duct, except we're just using 2 fans instead of 1 fan blowing and then splitting. We'll see, if it actually functions well. It really shouldn't matter if it functions well, like if we're printing anything of moderately large size, because even at that speed, the plastic is gonna have time to melt between when the nozzle until the nozzle comes back all the way around. So it's probably really irrelevant. But if you're printing something small like a benchy, maybe matters a little more. Integrated die-cast aluminum alloy. This machine looks beautiful. Let's scroll up to the top and actually get a look at the printer. So, the printer looks beautiful. It looks like a finished product. This is something that the market has been lacking. It has been lacking finished products. That also means this printer might have some less abilities to be modified because it is a finished product versus something that is designed to be modified and tinkered with. It being a finished product means it's just going to work. Fingers crossed. You can turn this printer on, click the print button, and it's just going to work. I hear that all the time. It's just going to work. It's just going to work, and it doesn't work. Fingers crossed, this is actually just going to work. It's going to do its 7x7 auto leveling grid. You're going to be able to just pull something off the print bed. Even if it fails, it might fail for one reason or another, but that would be a very irregular occurrence. This machine from point A all the way to point Z, it looks fully fledged and well thought out and well designed. And I know Anker has not made a printer in the past, and that is what is scary to me. They've never made a printer, and now they're coming out and they have a full-fledged, fully developed, designed printer, and that is a little bit scary. But from everything that we're seeing here, it looks like something that's going, like I said, to just work. And so here's your AI camera. It has a dedicated technology in order to determine when something's going wrong, and that will send you a notification to your cell phone if you have the app on your phone, which you likely are going to need. And also, the camera works as a monitoring device, and it works as a time-lapse device. So this camera has triple action. It is going to be very it's going to be a very good included piece to this printer, I believe. Anyone can now make time lapses, even if you're a Dumbo and you're a Dumbo and you just don't, or if you don't even if you're not, can't figure it out. What if you just don't want to install Octoprint or Clipper or whatever, and you just don't want to put a camera on? This is integrated. It's just gonna, you're just gonna say, yeah, do a time lapse. Click a button, and it's gonna make a time lapse. So having it integrated, fantastic for a bunch of reasons, and everyone's glued to their phones. Even if you don't get failures regularly, if you do get a failure, you can lose a lot of time, and depending on what the failure is, you can also damage some hardware. So having instant alerts going to be a plus. I love this. So let's see. Watch it live. If you just want to monitor the print, turn it on, see what it looks like. You can open the app and just see what it looks like. I do that sometimes. I've got cameras attached to the cloud that I can open up on my phone and just look at it just to see roughly when it's going to be done. Maybe I'm laying in bed and I want to know when it's going to be done so I can know if I can start another episode or whatever. So I do think that's great. And also from the app, you will be able to stop the print or start a print, whatever it is. So that is fantastic as well. Night vision. I don't know if that's necessary. Maybe we're just spending extra money for no reason. But if people do regularly print at night, and if you want to monitor your print at night, there you go. If you want to make a time lapse at night, there you go. You could also just leave your light on in the room that you're printing in. So I feel like maybe we're getting into the territory of spending extra money that doesn't need to be spent. But so share your time lapses. I'm guessing it's one-click share, basically. That's great. That is great. That is great. Now, the 7x7 auto leveling, this is huge. I know this already exists in a few other printers, but having this in a printer that I believe is going to be turnkey I think this is one of the biggest selling features for me, especially if I'm going to be continuing to operate my print farm, which I intend to. My small print farm, by the end of maybe the summer, I'm going to have 10 or 11 printers and sell on eBay. This printer is great because regularly I have issues where my printers just don't want to print. I turn them on today, they print, tomorrow they don't. So this, and that's regularly due to the leveling, and it's just a hassle because when you have that many printers, I know leveling is not hard, but when you have that many printers and something doesn't want to level, that's annoying because you have lots of them that don't want to level. So even with BL Touches, the firmware, nothing really likes to play well together. So I'm hopeful that this is going to be a very, very good printer for the farm. Get printing status, the LED indicator, probably, again, one of those more money being spent places that are irrelevant. Bendable and scratchable plates, that's fantastic. Though I am a little concerned that the plate will potentially do more harm to the nozzle than because you're scratching the nozzle instead of the plate. Now, the nozzles are not standard. The nozzles are AnkerMake specific. So if you need to buy more nozzles, you need to buy them through them. Their nozzles are likely going to be expensive. We'll see how long it takes until we get third-party nozzles. So this is a problem, I think, having the heavy gantry. If you touch it as it's printing, it might just fall. I have some videos posted recently with the Lucky Bot. It's a chocolate extruder. Guys, that adds a lot of weight to the gantry. And if you touch it as it prints, it might get a little bit heavy. It might get a little send it over the top, and it'll just fall. It'll fall like 2 or 3 millimeters. The entire print is ruined. So hopefully we're not going to be seeing something like that with this printer because the screen is attached to the gantry. Now, when the screen is attached to the gantry, if you need to do anything, you have to touch the screen, which means you are absolutely altering the Z axis offset. I'm a little bit concerned with the weight of the gantry, that trying to do anything, trying to change the temperature of anything, trying to just, check the status is going to affect it. We'll see how that actually happens in reality when we start getting prints come off of this machine. Print volume is very standard. Save material with error alerts. This, very big. I don't think any of this happens to us regularly. Broken filament, ran out filament, a spaghetti. That doesn't happen to us regularly, but it is nice. It is maybe more nice, not for waste of material, but rather the cleanup time and damaging hardware from filament being melted to things that it should not be melted to. Prints, so you can do resume print. That's great. That should be a given now. Easy assembly, I believe that's also a given now. Give yourself a printing partner. Prints quietly. Says it prints quietly with all the fans that we have, with all the motors, them never making a machine before. We'll see if it's actually quiet. If it is, that's going to be very, very important. But with the LED indicators, I don't know if you can turn them on and off, but if you cannot turn them off, it's still not a bedside printer. I have another printer that has LEDs that can't be turned off, not a bedside printer. Very quiet machine, but the LEDs keep you awake. So hopefully those LEDs can be turned off. Focus on what matters, take a break, what's in the box. Anyway, guys, this is just a first look. I think this machine is going to be great, and I'm keeping my pledge specifically because I think this is going to be a fantastic machine for the print farm. I really want to be able to have a machine I can just turn on, print, and never, ever, ever be concerned, even if that means having to spend a little bit of extra money on components that I can only buy from AnkerMake. That's okay. I just want to be able to have something that I'm not stressed out about. I don't want to get an order and not be able to fulfill it because my Ender 6s are acting up, or the Ender 3s are acting up, or something is acting up. I'm hopeful this is going to solve that problem. Anyway, oh man, I'm talking so much. Anyway, guys, I am very hopeful for this. If you have any questions, put them down below. Guys, one more thing. If you go look right now, you can get this printer still on Kickstarter for $629. When it comes out on the market, it is going to be $760. if you're interested, you can back this machine on Kickstarter, and you will not pay anything for 34 more days. So, guys, you can back it right now, and then you can change your mind and cancel it. I would highly recommend it, guys. This machine really looks like it's going to be a winner. Anyway, guys, post your thoughts on this machine in the comments below. Ask me questions. Maybe I can answer, and we can talk and discuss about all of this. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Anyway, guys, once I get this machine, I will have a review on. I will have printing results and everything on this. So, guys, subscribe and stick around for that. But anyway, I will see you in the next one. Guys, stay happy. See you later.